And instead of like blaming whitey or blaming slavery or whatever the things that are going to be blamed on this panel, I'm 100% sure.
We must be doing something because you want our lips, you want our backsides, you want it all. You want our color, you roasting yourself, you're looking old before your time because you want everything black.
Black women were told to cover their hair because it made white women uncomfortable, right? So the reality is whether you breathe or not, baby, we're the standard.
Black people in general just acting wild and out, dressing like hoes, ghetto ratchet behavior. And people are calling it out, not just white people, black people are calling it out.
Angela's trying to act like she's a wallflower. Angela got one of the biggest mouths on this panel.
I don't
and what she always does, Angela literally has no home training.
Offended instead of being offended.
She's projected.
Uncensored. Is the new face of villainy in America now black women? This comes as we're being bombarded by more and more videos on social media of them in street fights and brawls on reality shows. In the last week alone, black women have been blamed for the chaos at Daytona Beach's spring break. Law enforcement even calling one out by name, demanding $1 million in restitution for the damages in that city.
Here is number one offender, Elia Brooks. She got a certified letter basically saying that has come to our attention that you're advertising, promoting, or sponsoring, or organizing, or arranging via social media a Daytona Beach takeover.
Then even some black men blaming black women for the new dress code at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Embarrassed us so bad for the Houston Rodeo that like this have to be talked about. And we've been telling y'all this. We've been telling y'all that black American women, FBA women, have they ass out everywhere you go.
And then there's this guy who describes black women this way on social media.
What's your least favorite race to date?
I want to say black girls. Like, black girls have great personalities, but they're like apishly aggressive, you know? Apishly like manly sometimes, you know, the way they act. You feel me?
No, I don't.
Some say no matter how educated or successful, some black women have been constantly vilified, like politicians Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris. Hence, the question remains, are black women being vilified in America now?
And of course, we have a panel of guests here, women, important women. Let's well, yeah, you black too. So let's get to it, Yolanda. Is this over-exaggeration? Is this a fair assessment? Unfair? Your thoughts about what we're seeing on social media bombarding us?
So first of all, it's not new. Black women are always the boogeyman, like always. We're angry, we're aggressive. These are all things they say about us. And so I don't know why people are paying attention to it now. It was not true then, it's not true now. And if I am angry, considering black women are the #1 target of everybody, then I'm justifiably angry. If I am angry, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna own it. So again, this is not new, it's old, but you know what? I've been black all my life, I'm gonna die black, and the one thing I know black women will do is we will survive and we will thrive. And y'all can just keep hating, because for whatever reason, your name always on our lips. And so we must be doing something because you want our lips, you want our backsides, you want it all. You want our color, you roasting yourself, you're looking old before your time, because you want everything black. You want to culturally appropriate.
She is taking shots for sure. Roast yourself. It's one thing if you have a certain way how you carry yourself. If a lot of people look at you as masculine, you're probably going to be masculine, especially if you're hearing it on both sides of the color spectrum. If you got maybe white people saying it, you got maybe black people saying it, you could be a masculine individual. I still think it doesn't have anything to do with color. It's going to boil down to your characteristics.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you, your thoughts about this.
So here's my thoughts about this. I think the reason we're seeing more and more of these incidents is because people have cell phones, people have social medias. I don't think it's necessarily something that's new. I think it's been a problem that's gotten more and more aggressive. And this is about individual behavior. This is about people who do not take responsibility for the way they act, look, behave. I can remember being a teacher in an inner city school, and I'd have 1 or 2 mothers 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes every day, coming in 30 minutes late with their bonnets and their pajamas and their footies, bringing their kid in, stopping my class 30 minutes late every day, and then copping attitude with me when I would say, you need to bring your child on time. We have a situation where in the black community, unfortunately, there is a lack of father and parental father strong figures in the home. And so you're seeing a lot of behavior because of that outcrop of that. And instead of like blaming whitey or blaming slavery or whatever the things that are going to be blamed on this panel, I'm 100% sure, instead of blaming whitey, why not take a look at the behavior that's going on with some members of the black community and have a...
I like that she said some members, because it's not going to be the majority. It's going to be some, but at the same time, we are self-aware of what's going on. I know y'all go to y'all schools, in y'all local cities, grocery stores, wherever you see some women at, you are going to see what she described, but you also going to see the opposite who don't carry themselves like that.
Come to Jesus with them about it.
Bunke, your thoughts about this?
Well, I've been a teacher at both inner city and suburban schools. And in the inner city, we were never scared of school shootings, right? So when we're talking about different groups being vilified, if we're looking at the history of America and who has done the most violent crimes, it's your people.
Okay, hold up now. When it comes down to schools, I know whites definitely do the mass shootings, but in your black school, your majority black school, you're still going to have to worry about being bullied, being jumped, beat up, robbed, the whole nine, because I went to a very predominantly black school, and you still gonna have your fair share of issues, even if it's not a shooting.
In regards to the way black women are viewed, I'm going to continue speaking, but I'm going to make sure that you're not intimidated right now, are you? I want to make sure you're comfortable, because as a black woman, that's what we have to do in order to have a platform, right? In order to be able to speak uninterrupted, you have to make sure that you make somebody else feel comfortable. So outside of what we're seeing on social media, we know that 600,000 black women have been laid off, have been pushed out of the workforce, when we continue to be the most educated group of people in this country. And if we're looking at this panel, that's also evident.
All right. I don't know if that's by direct reason for someone being black, or maybe the job field that maybe that majority group of women possibly was in, and they laid off. I don't want to sit around here and say it's just targeted towards them being black, because I'm pretty sure a lot of other people got laid off at the same time.
Let's hear from you. Your thoughts about that?
She ain't lying.
Okay, well, I graduated magna cum laude in a language that I just learned at the time, because I am from Venezuela. And we see the aggression in this panel with Yolanda and here to my right, and that's the problem. But now let's talk about Kamala and Jasmine Crockett. You know, Jasmine Crockett is the best example of somebody that instead of representing their community with grace, is just being loud, is just being aggressive, and is dancing in the halls of Congress. And then we have Kamala, which we all know she got where she got on her knees. Her story is way long, and she just got where she got because she filled many boxes in the DEI. Let's talk about merit, not about color. As a Latina, I don't think any woman of any color with that behavior represent me as a woman.
I'm not mad at her saying merit instead of color. I'm all for that, you know, because I don't want to group either side into a box and say that I can't trust this color, that color, because you never know where your next blessing might come from.
A minority, I want people to get places based on merit.
All right, Jasmine, Terry, let's hear from you.
So I think we need to stay on topic. So we're going to go back to Yolanda for her initial. Let's go back to history, right? Black women were told to cover their hair because it made white women uncomfortable, right? So the reality is, whether you breathe or not, baby, we're the standard. And
hold on, then why do so many women wear weaves still if we the standard? I'm a little confused about that.
That's what it is. The beginning and the end starts with the black woman. So regardless, whether you want to admit it or not, I think for the both of you, you stay on topic because what you just spoke about had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Absolutely did.
So we're going to go back. So we're going to
Stop interrupting.
Let me land. So the reality is for the both of you to sit on the side of me and talk about aggression, what is the difference in what you're doing and what we're doing right now? Having a conversation. And yet we're the one, you just literally called out both of these black women on the panel, and you sit here with your attitude and you have a problem, but you tell them that they're aggressive, right?
She got a point.
Well, I have a long story with Yolanda.
So we talk about it.
She mad because I whooped her in the congressional race.
So the black women,
you were very
let me finish, please.
And I've graduated magna cum laude.
Aggressive.
Hold on, I'll say this. The black woman with the low haircut, I think she took the first shots about the lip injections and wanting to be like black women. Then the white woman counter retaliated, but they were just talking about their issues with the black community. I don't think really anybody was really aggressive off the rip. I think people just had their stances towards what's been going on. So I understand where she's coming from, but I don't think she's making the point all the way correct.
Normal.
Thank you so much. So as a black woman, we're going to talk about history and we're going to talk about facts. So the moment that you realize that black women are the standard in who we are and what we provide into this world and to what we give to America in general, then you need to understand that. And so the reality is everyone gaslight us and tell us who we are and, oh, you're so aggressive. No, we're not. But when you sit here, you jump behind a microphone and you're yelling and screaming and giving your attitude and what you do, it's okay, it's acceptable.
Hang on a minute.
Wait a minute. And you're the same person, let me finish. And you're the same person talk about calling Jasmine Crockett Miss Ratchet.
She's Representative Ratchet.
So the reality is when you sit here, right here, you're considered as being applauded for what you do, right? But the minute a black woman has an opinion and we have something to say,
it has nothing to do with having an opinion. It has to do
We'll be right back and we'll let them
Hold on. The weird part about it, she said that black women are the standard. That's just, I don't know if I would say black women are the standard. You got all ethnicities and groups out there, so this just to put one above the other one, you know more better than the Bible when it put Jews over everybody else. Like everybody's created from the same God, but you're gonna have one specific group of people better than the next group of people. I don't believe that. I think the best way you can do is determine what your character and your morals lie at, and then how can you make it from point A to point B through your lifetime. I don't have to point the finger and say one person is going to be an ultimate correct being. How do you live your day-to-day life to benefit yourself and others?
Continue this conversation in just a moment. Stay with us here on The Factor Uncensored, and later we'll hear from the men. Stay with us.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to have the guys too?
Welcome back. It's a big question tonight. Are black women being vilified in America? Let's get back to our guests. So if this is a problem that we've constantly seen over the years, over decades, how do we address it?
I don't think there's a way to address it. You know, I mean, what I think the ladies next to me, at least two of the ladies next to me do, is put on their big girl, black girl panties and like just stop the whining.
Big girl,
And,
black girl panties.
you know, it's interesting, they're talking about education, it's merit. Well, I mean, I'm a lawyer. I graduated magna cum laude. I mean, I was voted the most outstanding senior at the University of Houston. And I'm a double minority. I mean, I'm a black woman. When I walk in a room, you know I'm black. And the first thing they say is that I'm aggressive. You know what? I am matter of fact. My mother taught me to look you dead in your eye when I'm talking to you and speak because I have something to say. And it's interesting that Angela's trying to act like she's a wallflower. Angela got one of the biggest mouths on this panel. And what she always does, Angela literally has no home training. Angela does not allow people to speak. She always interrupts because she tries to distract. I'm not worried about Angela because when she's moving, she ain't saying nothing. She's whining. She's trying to get the camera to look at herself. Now tell me why that's not aggressive.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you.
I mean, Sarah Palin, Christy.
I think both of them have issues. Angela sounded like she had a few too many cocktails, and Miss Yolanda, she sounded like she just ready to jump off the top ropes.
No,
this is
Mark G. Taylor Greene are all aggressive.
All right, let's hear from Angela.
This is the way this woman walks around in the world, ladies and gentlemen. I don't walk around in the world like that, and I guarantee you that most of the people on this panel do not walk around in the world like that.
That's why you got fired at HISD.
No, that's not why I got fired at HISD, but
so
that's
I think
I'm
personal
done.
shots.
Hang on a minute.
Lower your voice.
Hang on a minute.
Thank you.
Here's the thing.
See, that's just being, lower your voice. Ma'am, y'all talking and going back and forth. You didn't tell Yolanda to lower her voice. That's what I'm saying, man. This is where the ad hominem attacks need to stop. Like, y'all just carry yourself. Just let the person get it out. It is what it is. You're not going to be able to change their thoughts or their opinions. Just let them get it off.
Back to my whole premise here. This is about individual behavior, and if you're seeing a spate of black women or black people in general just acting wild and out, dressing like hoes, ghetto ratchet behavior, and people are calling it out. Not just white people, black people are calling it out. Hispanic people are calling it out.
That is true.
They're tired of it. That's why this black fatigue thing has taken hold. And again, with all due respect, the women on this panel are not who people are annoyed with, okay? Because the women on this panel are very successful, are very articulate and well-spoken. And I think instead of being defensive about
you literally just insulted Yolanda and said this is how she walk around in the world.
She's the exception. She's the exception. Instead of being offended by saying that this might be a problem with certain black people, why not have a conversation in the black community about that?
All right, Bonke, and make sure we stay on topic.
I'm not mad at that, man. Okay, with the spring break and the whole rodeo situation, if Booty Cheeks was out and if things were going on and the majority of those people happen to be a certain ethnicity group, it is what it is, man. One thing we cannot do is we don't want to lose ourselves in the argument and say that because she's saying things that we don't like and agree with, to now we don't hold anybody accountable. That's not right, and we have to be honest with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think this panel is a microcosm of what we're experiencing. No matter how we present, we're still considered the same thing, right? I intentionally lowered my voice a few decimals, and I was still called aggressive by somebody who has never met me, right? Going back to the social media trends and what we're seeing, and then the outlash, at the end of the day, and Jasmine, right? She pointed this out, black women, we are the backbone of American culture. So if we're talking about clickbait, we know that in this economy, attention is currency.
Absolutely.
So of course they're gonna come after black women because we continue to always move the needle when it comes to any kind of metric you want to look at. Any kind of success metric, any kind of attention metric, going back to beauty standards, we're often emulated. And the truth of the matter is our divine essence is what's intimidating. And so you find these very visceral reactions to us just existing as everybody can
We're going to take a quick break here.
Somebody always want to be on top, man. This is crazy.
Come back and let Jasmine and Carmen wrap us up. We'll be back. Stay with us. Back. The topic is, are black women being vilified? Carmen, wrap us up.
Well, bad behavior always takes precedent. And sadly, many times the minority with bad behavior is what is being exposed. And this is the reality of what we're seeing. And that's where, in occasions, like for example, when Yolanda behaved like that, she is also acting in bad behavior, even though she's a very accomplished woman. So why don't behave properly and in the manner that people expect as a state representative, as a U.S. Congresswoman in the case of Jasmine Crockett.
All right.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
Close us up.
With higher power comes higher responsibility. You need to carry yourself accordingly.
So the question is, are black women being vilified? Yes. And I have a question for the both of you. Do you see this in America today, black women being vilified? Can you answer yes or no?
No.
No, it's about those women.
It's about behavior.
So the reality is you guys do not exist in reality. And honestly, furthermore, it's actually shameful because you sit here and you don't see the racist things that you do right now. You don't see it. And you literally, whether you're joking off camera, on camera, whatever, you don't see what you project out regarding black women. And it's actually sad because to sit in between the both of you and we're letting you know that we feel vilified and you have no sympathy, no empathy. You have no. Let me finish. And what I'm saying is the fact that you can sit here and say that you don't see what goes on in America today means you do not recognize history and you are not within reality.
Thank you, ladies. We'll be back. We'll talk to the men next.
Wow. Bad behavior.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're talking about black women being vilified here in America. Joining us now, the men to talk about this subject. We have podcast host, the biggest, community activist, Derek Muhammad, radio host, TD Blackshear, and CEO of Regal Media, Todd Smith. All right, Derek, your thoughts about black women being vilified here in America. Is it a problem? Is it reality?
It is a problem. It is emphatically a reality and has been so for the past 400 plus years. Black women being vilified is not anything new. The real question is, when did it stop? I mean, think about it. A study was done that said that in media, most black women are seen in 3 categories: the sapphire, the Jezebel, or the third one is, I forget the third one, but these negative stereotypes. And anytime a black woman expresses her intelligence and she defies these stereotypes, she is indeed vilified. The vilification is just the gateway to devaluation. So as long as black women are devalued in this country, then they could lose 600,000 jobs in 1 year and nobody will bat an eye. I mean, let's look at the historical record. Black women were used as guinea pigs to perform surgery with no anesthesia. Why? Because it went on record that they had a higher tolerance for pain. So indeed, black women have been vilified in this country, still are being vilified in this country, and will continue to be vilified if nothing changes.
All right. Stereotype doesn't have to, identify exactly who you are. See, every other ethnicity group, they got a stereotype, and it is what it is. I understand the history that has happened to us throughout the past, but in 2026, you damn near can do anything you want to do, and the things that people say about you don't have to shape you. So we can talk about white women, Asian women, Indian women, they all got stereotypes. They probably don't care. We still have to keep living life and doing things as we're supposed to do. If the stereotype really bothers us, why not change from how we act like the stereotype?
Hey, TD, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about
I don't believe that's the reality in the whole corporately. I believe that the segment or a particular people, such as a Jasmine or a Kamala, who vilifies with the potty mouth type ideology, where they are speaking not as the intelligent women that we are accustomed to generally in our community, who are literally sound women who goes about their business of doing things that we have brought up through our lives. We know that they are the most sought after or the most educated part of our community, and we expect them to act as such because they are mothers, they are strong women. Because a woman, she can be seen but not heard, and she carries more weight in her beauty and in her essence and how she presents herself as a lady in the streets. And the community abroad, the marketplace will bear witness to that fact, that she's a virtuous woman. Rosa Parks sat on the bus. She wasn't cussing and potty mouthing and hollering and screaming. And the dignity and the self-respect, even in escorting her off the bus, was not that of a vilification or that of treating a woman without dignity.
What is he talking about? Are you talking about the modern women today? You go back talking about Rosa Parks. See, I knew he wasn't going to be honest just because he can't be honest with himself in the way how he has on that suit and the way how his front drops. See, he don't even care about himself. So I don't believe he's going to be honest and actually speak on the behavior of what happened at the event. See, everybody want to talk about how great and how virtuous and all this stuff. Man, call out when it's time to call out. Quit playing and being goofy and trying to cover up things and talk about what women of the past. We know that it's going to be great black women out there. Quit acting goofy. We talking about the ones who do goofy stuff.
All right, Todd, let's hear from you.
I think the difference is we have a Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she is not facing the vilification. She's honored. She was honored before she turned against Trump in the MAGA movement. So there is a difference between how black women are treated when they're have a personality. That's how I look at Jasmine Crockett. She has a great personality. But why do we have to shrink who we are? Why do black women have to shrink who they are, shrink their swag, or shrink their personality to fit somebody else's definition of what a classy woman should be? And like Brother Muhammad said, it started 400 years ago with the vilification of black women, how black men couldn't even speak up for their woman when they were raped by the slave master, when they were sold off. And it goes back to black men also. With
we ain't even experienced that in modern day. Why are we talking about things that happen through stories and things that you or the people right above you don't even know what happened? So this makes no sense.
Calling women B's and H's. So I blame everybody for the vilification of black women except black women. We all have a responsibility to play to make sure that image is protected and make sure we defend them when they are devalued by some other people.
All right.
The same women that wouldn't give your Steve Harvey suit wearing ass a shot, just being honest, you probably wouldn't even get a shot with the same women that you're talking about. I'm just talking about the ones who act the way we talking about the rodeo. Those women ain't checking for you, man. We still speaking in fairy tale land of things that happened in the past, and we not being honest as to modern day.
Let's go ahead.
Well, I want to start off by saying I love black women. So let's start with
I do
saying
too.
that. But I do think that they are vilified, but I think they have reason to be angry. They have reason to speak their mind. I believe a lot of times they move with a lot more masculine energy because they're in defense mode all the time. They've been scarred, they've been taken advantage of, and I believe that's why it gives. It's so easy to vilify them because they're always trying to defend themselves. They always want to prove something to the next person. They have to work a lot harder than, the other women in the world. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think about it, man.
And you said because of almost a protection mechanism, they use the masculinity to survive. Yeah. Would there be something necessarily wrong with that, guys? Derek?
Well, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. The problem with the vilification, I think it starts with the double standards. I have a problem, but see, I was raised by strong black women who had very strong personalities. This did not make them angry black women. The problem is when you see a white woman act out of character, her behavior is not generalized and attributed to all white women. If you see a couple of black sisters and they fighting at the beach or whatever, why are we having a conversation about black women in general based upon the out of character behavior of a few? And
he tripping. I don't know why we don't sit right here and give all white women the term Karens. I don't know what he's talking about when it comes down to saying that we always group people into categories. I think it takes a smart person to not group everybody into a category because we understand that there's going to be good people and bad people of all colors and ethnicity groups.
That is where the double standard comes in. And that is why we have to stand up and defend black women as a whole. And we have to separate the exception from the rule. The black women that we saw on the panel that preceded ours, these were highly intelligent black women. If you follow them around throughout their day, you think they fussing and fighting and being cantankerous all day long, they would not have been able to accomplish what they've accomplished. But catch them on the day when they're tired. Catch them on the day when they feel as if though
they're human beings.
They can't break through the glass ceiling and they have a right to be angry. All of a sudden, that moment becomes the standard for all black women. That don't make no sense.
We want black women to be perfect.
10 seconds.
We want black women. And he said about the masculine energy. A lot of times, black women had to be masculine. They had to be the father because the slave masters stole the father away. They had to be the father because you couldn't have a father in the home and get welfare. So a lot of them, they had to be that masculine. They had to have that masculine energy. So we shouldn't blame them. We should praise them.
And white women have masculine energy too.
Amen.
Duh, we understand that white women can be masculine and aggressive. We're not saying that. The fact that this Steve Harvey suit wearing brother still talking about going back to what master and slavery or whatnot, talking about the house, bro, we in 2026. Bro, our people today have not seen anything like that. So how are we still trying to compare that to now? We talking about the situations that happened during spring break, Daytona Beach, and in the Texas rodeo situation. You have black people online that's saying, explaining what they saw. They saw these things. Are they now wrong for, speaking on how they feel about it? And it ain't all white people. It ain't all Spanish people saying things. There are black people that's saying, man, this is dead wrong, man. We don't need to move like this. And if it's a large group of us, I mean, we can sit right here and say that some of the criticism is warranted at the same time. I understand it don't feel good when we get criticized. Oh, why is all black people doing this and doing that? Don't go. Don't act out. I guarantee you, if black people show up somewhere and there is nothing wild or out of the ordinary going on, nobody's going to talk about it. I don't know why we act like we have to justify all types of behavior from our people and think that it's just okay. Oh, yeah, man, had that ass hanging out around all the kids. Oh, yeah, that's all fine. Yeah, had them booty cheeks. Yeah, clap them. Listen to all that music. Have all the cussing and everything going on around the kids. Anybody who trying to defend that type of behavior is goofy. And the small dude in the middle, them women ain't going to choose him either. See, I know in his day-to-day life, he probably married or whatnot. He probably even out there on the scene. But I don't even think they understand how just a regular black man has to move around his own women, because they really don't appreciate him like that. They're not even checking for him like that. It's going to be difficult for that guy to actually get somebody. And I'm actually shocked hearing all these dudes speak like this, man. And I love black women. I have a black wife. I got black daughters. I'm never going to sit right here and act like they're perfect. They going to do everything perfect. People in general not perfect. White, it don't matter the color. No, everybody gonna have issues, but I'm never gonna just try and group everybody. See, I did that shit in my early 20s, and I missed out on certain blessings, because you can have somebody from another group helping you out, but you so stuck in your ways, you so stuck in your own preconceived notions that this person is out to get me, this person can, and you done missed out on blessings because you too prideful to look past someone's color and actually look at their character and say, damn, this person really trying to help me out. But you still thinking that all of them sticking together, all of them think the same way. That's crazy to even think like that in the world that we in. Granted, back in the day, yes, were there issues going on with the way how, the history presented itself? Yes. I didn't live back then. Only thing I can do is understand the climate that I'm in now and move towards a better future for the family in the time period that I'm in. All that living in the past, I can't do it because I got a future to maintain and capture. If I don't, then it's going to be my fault. So I never want to live in that reality where I'm just going to be stuck in the past and just sounding goofy, man. Let me get y'all thoughts on this. I have this link in the description. Y'all can watch it in its entirety. It's sad still sometimes that we can't be fully accountable. And if y'all didn't like this, it is what it is, man. This is just how I feel about it. This your guy, JayBReacts. And until next time, y'all, peace.